are watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
You're watching West Hartford Community Television.
For the community, by the community.
Ning hao. Good day, everybody. My name is Peipei Champion, and I am the founder of Champion Chinese Language Institute and creator of Champion Chinese Program, a very effective and interesting Chinese language program for everybody. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of review about why Chinese is a very interesting and effective language to learn. I don't know if you watched the first program, but the reason is because Chinese has 3 elements. One is picture. When you look at things, you copy it down. That will be the character you want. So what you want is what you see and what you write. So pictographic. Second, Chinese indicate idea. So what is your feeling? What do you want to express? That's the idea, ideographic. The third is phonetic. But Chinese in the phonetic part is quite weak. So we cannot rely on the sound to learn the Chinese because, again, it's very weak. For example, when we say "e," we have 179 meaning. When we say we probably can mean hungry, evil, alligator, or the country Russia. So that would be, very confusing. And the other reason people think Chinese is difficult is because Chinese has a 4 tone. First tone, for example, you say ma. First tone, ma will be mother. Ma will be the material, cloth material, hemp. You say ma, that would be horse. And you say ma, that would be scolding. Okay? So when you say ni hao ma, how are you? Ni hao ma, like ma is a question, a particle. When you say ni hao ma, you, good horse. When you say ni hao ma, good day, mommy. Ni hao ma, you love to scold. How different can that be, right? Of course, it's confusing. But we do have a way to ignore that problem. And we can actually learn it very naturally without a lot of difficulty. But again, we need a proper tool. The proper tool, the best tool, is the 37 traditional Bopoma sounding symbols, which are the 注音 Bopoma symbols. There are very, very few places in the U.S. People are teaching this. I really hope one day from elementary school to college level, from elementary school teacher to college professors, they will spend that 2 to 5 hours to teach the 37 symbols to their student, because once they know those, they can read material dated back to thousands of years, because most of the Chinese, actually all of the Chinese classic material before 1920, before 1956 are all written in the traditional characters, and most of them are annotated in the Bopoma system. So if you know those systems, you can read everything, thousands of years, back dated back to thousands of years without problem. Okay, so if you want to read material before 1956, the Bopoma sounding symbols is a very important tools for you. And also, if you want to write characters, either traditional or simplified characters, those are the part of the characters. And knowing the 37 symbols is like you understand English letter before you learn the English language. So it's a powerful tool. And today, that's a good short review. And today, I'm going to talk about why I have used teaching Chinese characters to help my student to build up their strong and compassionate and loving character. And here, I will share the experience with you. 1 year ago, I was teaching at a public school, famous for challenging students. And one mom called me and say, whoa, my child used to fight with the siblings and talk back and this and that and very rebellious. And what have you done to my child? Suddenly, my child stopped talking back and actually talks like a philosopher and become very friendly with the siblings. And what had happened in the classroom. And then now I will show you what had happened. So usually the first character I teach my student is this character. This character is justice. Just. So what is justice? This character has been used by Chinese people, Japanese, Korean, and again, the world's elite people for thousands of years. And why is this justice? You will see a goat. This is a goat. 2 horns, 3 means many, ribs, 1 spine. Goat above I, 我. So I is composed by a hand. Look at this finger, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. This is a pictograph of a hand holding a spear. That's a spear, pictograph. So I is composed by 2 parts. Hand holding a spear to hunt, to protect myself and my family. So that's called 我. That's me. So when you put the goat above I, that means I will always sacrifice my beautiful lamb, my goat, for the beautiful virtue called justice. Isn't that wonderful? And I remember when I watched those Chinese ancient classic movies, you will see a lot of family, they just wrote a justice, huge calligraphy, and put it in the center of their living room. So that's the symbol, and that's the personality, that's the character, the family, the master want their future generation to learn and remember. So that's called justice. So that's a traditional justice. And this red one, it would be the simplified justice. And some of my students, actually most of my students, even kindergartner, believe it or not, even kindergartner, because they already know how to write lamb, they already know how to write hand and spear, so they know how to write me. And they usually are very happy to put the lamb on top of me. I will always do justice because it's good, a good thing to do. So, and this one, even my kindergartner, they do have some difficulty accepting this one is justice. But it's very easy to write. And when you do this, actually, this is one of the Bopoma symbol. That's called U. Okay? That's a Bopoma symbol. And there's a dot. You do this. That's a justice. But when you want to do traditional one, you just do 2 horn, 3 ribs, 1 spine. That's lamb, a pictograph. That's a hen. That's a hen holding a spear. So that's me. That's called justice. So usually this is one besides dragon, long. This is the second or first character I want my student to learn and remember, because justice just means a good thing to do. And it's very important for us. And I also tell my student, when you want to do justful things, sometimes there will be resistance. And people might get angry. People might not want to support, because that might result in telling truth, and sometimes truth hurt. So I help my student, and they will go home and do homework. What is the just things to do, and what will be the obstacle for a person that really believe in doing just for people. Okay, so this is one of the very important character. The second, I want to talk about love. I. See, when you love someone, you use your eye to look at them, right? Say I. I means love. So can you say 我爱妈妈? I love mother. 我爱妈妈. 我爱爸爸. I love dad. 我爱龙 dragon. 我爱龙 dragon. Okay? So love is very interesting. Now let me show you how to write it. This is a pictograph of a hen. So that's a pictograph of a hen. Did you see it? A hen. Now, a love means I use my hand, I cover. Remember ma? That's the bopoma that we have learned last time. Let me show you. Ooh, where is it? Oh, here. That's ma, right? So I use my hand, I cover my precious heart. Precious heart is like a smiley face, isn't it? So now let me show you. The smiley face, you are using one of the 37 bopoma symbol. Like a smiley face, right? So I use my hand, I cover my precious heart, and I'm going to give it to you. Now, do you just drop it and break my heart? No, no. Please receive it using your hand. So this is a hand and support. So this is one of our very important bopoma symbol, P sound. But P has nothing to do with the Chinese character, is it? Nothing. Is ER has anything to do with our love picture? No. But the bopoma symbol is helping us, helping our children to write those characters. So this is called traditional love. Traditional love. Say I. I means love. Now, after 1956, China decided we have to simplify the characters because most of the peasants in China cannot write those. And so we have to change everything from the history. They go back to the history, they change all the love into the simplify. How do we write it? They remove the heart. They put a friend there. Put a friend. So they take the heart away. So this is the simplified love that we have, okay? So when I teach my student about this love picture, most of my students, probably 9 out of 10, they can write it right away. The first, after 30 seconds, they will say, okay, I use my hand, cover my precious heart, and you support it. And they love it, okay? And they are very happy. They go home, they will teach their parents, and sometimes they make the Valentine's card, and they wrote a big love there. And some of the students, they went to the store, and sometimes they bring the symbol. They want to buy something, but they make sure there is a heart because that's what they believe. When you love someone, you share your heart, okay? So, and that's the simplified one. So again, my student will do both. My student will do both, and only they make their own choice. The other one will be the saint. I share with my student, saint. What is a saint, a sage? A saint means a person with a big ear. That's a ear. This is a ear. And he listened to people, his people. A good leader can be a sage. In Chinese history, you have to be a sage so that you can lead. Because if you are not a saint, people do have the right to take you down. So for thousands of years, Chinese dynasty changes. The king, the leader changes. But they still believe the culture connect all the people together. And that's nature. When a person couldn't be a good leader, they are not a sage, their leading life will be ended by Tao. So a person have a big ear, listening ear to his people. And there is a mouth at the side. The mouth will give order according to what he hears. Okay? And here is a king. What is a king then? Heaven, earth, people, and that's a ruler. So the connect. So a king is supposed to be the person that can bring harmony to heaven, earth, and people. The leader following the Tao do not set laws against people's will. But we also have to understand, some people need to be educated. When people are not educated, there will be greed, there will be violent, there will be a lot of characters that we don't want to see. So people need to be educated. When people are satisfied with their basic need, but they also have to work. Okay, so how a good leader maintain the balance between heaven, earth, and people? That's a wisdom. So you do not just listen to whoever say, like 1956, the peasant claimed, I cannot learn the character. It takes me half year to try to learn 3 characters, and I cannot understand. So the leader actually has to change thousands of years system to meet the need of that peasant. That doesn't make sense. So a good leader, you listen, you give wise order to help the people to work, to have the ability to work, to support themselves, and to excel, to prosper, to be prosperous. And that's the wisdom of a leader. Now, let's talk about the simplified one. This is a pictograph of a hand, and that's dirt. So what is simplified saint? You put your hand on the dirt, and you are the saint. in the simplified form of the character. So now we are not talking about the good or bad, the politics or whatever. We are talking about the meaning and the Chinese philosophy. What do we expect a leader to be? Has to be a sage, listening to people, give wise order, set wise law, and the law will not against heaven, earth, and people, will not disturb the balance. So people need to respect the heaven, respect the Mother Earth, and they will live in between and bring harmony. And people need to work, people need to be educated so they understand the philosophy of Tao. So this is a good idea, I think. But this is the saying has been used by Chinese people and Japanese again and again. All the elite people around the world for thousands of years until 1956. This is the simplified form, and this is the form that we are taught in the public school system right now. And I do believe in some school system, even most of the Ivy League schools, the first year they are teaching traditional characters, because without the traditional character, you basically cannot read material before 1956. I mean, written in the traditional character. Okay, so and again, the symbol here is the secret tool to decode the combination of the traditional or simplified characters. Okay, and here comes the last one. I would talk about manner. What is manner? This looks difficult, isn't it? Yeah, looks very difficult. And that's the simplified one. So when you look at this and this, maybe a lot of people will say, oh, I want to write the simplified one. But let me explain to you why it is easy for the traditional one, okay? So people need to know manner. And that's one of the major teaching of Confucianism, one of the major teaching of Confucius. And so that is one of the major teaching that helped Chinese people survive for thousands of years. People need to show respect and manner to heaven, earth, sun and moon and star. So this means nature. So this is our mouth. Remember the square, our mouth? That's the tongue. You add two lines, that will be music. So imagine when we go to church, when we go to temple, people chant, people have, they sing the prayers. You have music. Now, imagine a holiday without food, when we celebrate to our God or Buddha without food. Okay, so this is the food, basically. This is the cover of the cookware. That's the cookware, that's the stand. So basically, this is a bean, but it's a symbol for food. Okay, the major food for Chinese people are beans and rice. This is a cookware. So what is manner? You use music and the food to show respect to divine. So that's called manner. Now, the simplified manner will be the divine plus there is a hook. This is actually taken away from a character called mess. Okay, so this is a part of the mess, and that's the manner. But in long time ago, this has been used by Chinese people as manner before, because they basically think there are one school think the manner is very troublesome, a mess, too troublesome, trouble the people. But but this is actually a later form, but actually showed us how the Chinese history changed and how their thinking changed. They use, this is more like their life. They use music, and have you heard that music, a child learn music, how to enjoy and play music will not turn into a bad child, right? So music is very important. And of course, you need to fulfill their need for food. And we have to have fear and respect to the nature. So that we can live harmoniously with the nature. So these 4 characters actually, and more, there are more of the characters that actually are very, very easy for us to understand and learn. Every single character is the record of how Chinese people live, how the traditional Chinese philosophies believe, and the spirit of the Chinese people. So I think it's very important for us to understand, and so that we can carry on these very wonderful civilizations. And of course, especially when we want to work with Chinese people all over the world, not only people from mainland China, but the rest of the world, most of the elites, most of the overseas Chinese people are still using all the Chinatown. All the food menus are written and printed in the traditional characters. So how we can help our children and school students to learn the Chinese effectively and most of all, happily, is a very important thing for our leaders, educational leader and political leader, to think about, and their parents, because you really want your children to learn it happily, and you want them to talk like a little philosopher when they go home and teach you how to communicate it with Chinese. Now, I will encourage you to call West Hartford Continuing Education or visit my website, www.championchinese.com, and you can get into the championchinese.com to view my PowerPoint and sample teaching and call the continuing education for our beautiful 213 summer camp. And I will see you in the summer camp, and I will see you in the fall and spring program. And 再见. Hopefully I will see you very soon. 再见. 再见 means goodbye. 再见. 再见再见. 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 再见.